Hey, everybody, and welcome back to Carl's Conversations, the safe place to have difficult conversations. We are in our showcase of Black excellence. And as you can see on the other side of the screen, we have the spotlight on independent filmmaker Lynaia Jordan from Baltimore, Maryland. If I could pipe in some applause, I would go.
Thank you.
She is a tremendous person of character, of talent. Listen, I have seen her filmmaking up close. It is an amazing production. Her crew is so tight. They work together so flawlessly. Some things don't even have to be communicated. And the way when she finishes today, telling you the story, how it all came together, it is just amazing to see people have a dream, have a drive, make the sacrifice, do the work. And sometimes that's the portion that's not told about this so-called American dream. With that American dream, you got to work your butt off. Ain't that right, Lynaia?
Yes, yes, definitely.
Ain't nobody gonna give it to you. You got to work. And let me tell you, she's a worker. And so I really am honored to have Miss Lynaia Jordan with us. Now, you can't see her husband. He's off in the background. He's often in the background, but you better believe he is the coal in the locomotive engine.
Yes, yes, thank you. Yes, yes.
We want to give him his flowers. He's a tremendous guy and a tremendous part of the production. Listen, she is an award-winning filmmaker, writer, producer, director, editor, and she hasn't been at it very long. But let me tell you, in this region, the DMV region, that is DC, Maryland, and Virginia, especially here, but not only here, she is very well known amongst actors and producers and directors, not just in film, but also in theater. And she has been very impactful in her area. And let me tell you something, she also loves her community. There's a lot of things that Miss Jordan is involved in that she doesn't really put on Front Street. But let me tell you something, anybody who has been connected with her can speak of her heart for people. She does business with integrity. And we talked about her being a filmmaker, but we haven't talked about her being an entrepreneur. She's a businesswoman, y'all. She can count real good. And don't let the smooth taste fool you. She's pretty. She got a smile, but you ain't gonna beat her out of nothing. That's right. So welcome, Miss Jordan. We appreciate you saying yes. And I can't wait to shine this spotlight very brightly onto you. Thank God for you.
Yes, thank God for you. Thank you, Carl, for having me on the show. I am so excited to be here. This is actually the first show I've done in 2025. In a minute because I really haven't been doing shows. I've just been working.
Oh, wow. Well, that's a good thing because I'm hoping that you can tell us about this work. I guess I want to tell people what we're doing here. During the month of February, the idea came, and I've been doing this for the last few years, except for the last few years, I did it on a different platform, and it was called the Black Business Showcase. But in getting it together this year, I'm saying, wait a minute, but we're doing some things outside of business. You know, we're doing some things in entertainment and education and community advocacy and engagement. The Black Excellence Spotlight shines in so many areas, especially in the current climate in our nation. There's some stuff going on.
Yes,
And if you're black or brown in this nation right now, you can feel the heat. And I don't care what your political affiliation is, you can feel it, right?
yes,
And so if there was ever a time when we needed the spotlight, and it doesn't have to be your recognizable names. Sometimes we get lost into thinking that we need all the big names. Oh, there's nothing wrong with the big names. Don't get me wrong. But in our circles, and Lynaia Jordan is in my circle, in our circles, we have greatness. And
yes,
why not tell their stories? Why not put the spotlight on them? I want all of us to know who we are. And there's somebody who's watching right now who maybe this is your first time ever hearing about Carl's Conversations. Maybe you never heard about a Black Excellence Showcase, but you need to be here. Well, keep on watching and make sure that you contact me. It's information on the bottom of your screen. You make sure you reach out to me because we're going beyond February. It is so many places to shine the light. February can't really contain us. So the showcase of Black excellence will go far beyond February. We're going to keep it going as long as there's interest. There's always going to be enough stories to tell. I'm going to tell you that right now. So as
yes,
long as there is interest, As long as there's an audience who wants to see this, I'm going to keep presenting it to you. All right. So with that being said, Lynaia, I just want you to tell the audience, how in the world did you get started making films? Is not something that a lot of us as people of color, is not many of us that can say, I really know a filmmaker. How did you get started?
So first, I just want to say thank you to God for the gift that He gave me, for His mercy and His grace that He has put on my life. Um, with filmmaking, I kind of started filmmaking from someone reading a book that I wrote and saying that they think that I should turn it into a film. And so that kind of went left a little bit. And my husband, the Cole, the my backbone, he kind of said, listen, we're not going to never allow ourselves to be put in that situation again. So he went out, got a camera, and we started filming ourselves. We did our first full feature film, which is called Beautiful Scars, in 2022. And we've been filming ever since then. Yeah.
That's amazing. Now, you just hit me to something because I didn't know that you wrote a book. So, writing films, I guess, is not such a big thing if you wrote a book. Now, when did the bug of writing enter you? When did you know that you had a love, a knack, and a talent for writing?
So, growing up in humble beginnings with life situations and things that transpired in my life, I always was a writer. I used to write poems, I used to write songs. I would compete in dramatic reading contests at my schools, elementary, middle, and high school, in talent showcases where I would write poems and things. So I always had like a niche for writing, but a lot of people don't know that when I was probably about 5, my grandfather, he married Mary Carter Smith, who was an African griot, and she was well known across the world. She wrote poems, she wrote books, she has a cookbook, and she would go around and tell folk tales, African folk tales, to children in Baltimore City public schools, all over. She would do birthday parties, and sometimes she would take me with her, and how she engaged with all walks of life, all nationalities, how she engaged them in her performance and the words that she said. I kind of think that kind of pushed me to wanting to be a writer or even just in that entertainment industry.
So, you got exposed to storytelling at a young age.
Oh yes, definitely yes. When she was inducted into the Great Blacks and Wax Museum, I think I probably was about 6 or 7. I was there at the ribbon cutting, so it was like it was a scary experience because the Great Blacks and Wax Museum it was scary to little kids. Like you would just stand there and just see these wax figures, and so. And I was there and I was able to witness a part of history that I didn't even realize that I was going to be a part of. And so, yeah, so I was exposed at a young age. Yes.
That's amazing. Is it safe to say that you found writing as a safe place to express yourself?
Most definitely. Because of a lot of judgment, when I write, I can be inconspicuous and I can just write whatever I want and without any judgment. So that was a lot of reasons why I would write and just write everything down. And I write all the time, I use a lot of paper. Even though we have computer and technology, I love keeping notes of everything. So
When you first began to write, did you keep a lot of those things to yourself? And if so, when did you begin to feel, I guess you would say, comfortable sharing your writings?
So I did keep a lot of things to myself. And so what happened was my first book I wrote, which is called Torn But Not Broken. was after I went through a lot of tragedy as a teenager, and I wanted to tell my story, but I didn't want people to have pity on me or feel any kind of way about what I went through in life. So I wrote it down, and then I started to put imagination into it a little bit. And my aunt that passed away, my aunt Doll, she she read it. I was pregnant with my son, and she read it. She was going through my papers and she saw it and she started reading it, and she was like, "You should finish this." And she would come in my room 2, 3 o'clock in the morning and just give me like, what is going to happen next? And so Jason, my husband, encouraged me, and he was like, "Go ahead and put the book out. You can do it." So I self-published. I learned how to self-publish, and I self-published my 3 books. So it was yeah, so that's what I did.
You're motivated. And listen, the audience already has a couple of questions. First one from Mr. Walter Parrish. He says, do you enjoy writing more than filming and vice versa?
I enjoy writing more than filming. Yes, I do. If Because it's really hard to get the support and to get people to be a part of your team nowadays if you are not in the forefront or popular on social media, and people see that you are going in whatever direction, so you don't get that support so much. So with my team being small, I have to be the writer, producer, director, actress, editor, location finder, wardrobe, hairstylist, makeup artist. So I have to do those things so that we can have a product to put out. And so it's like, I tell my husband all the time, I would rather just be the writer and just write and let everybody else do whatever they're going to do to put the writing out.
Oh, wow. That's understandable. But I tell you what, all this work that you're doing and all those things, you are developing a skill set that's going to write checks for you down the road. Watch what I mark this. I'm glad this is live and going to be recorded. That skill set is going to write checks for you. Watch what I tell you. Here's question number 2 from the audience. It says, Lynaia, where did you find time to do so much? I was going to ask that too, so thank you for asking.
um, just by the grace of God, I don't know, like the energy, the time, like I literally can work constantly and maintain work like life balance. I am fortunate, whereas though I don't have to work a 9 to 5 because of my husband. He supports me 100% financially and emotionally, spiritually. So when most people may have to work to fund their films and stuff, I don't. I can focus on our children, our home, my writing, our HVAC business with the administrative side. So I'm blessed in that sense where that's where I find time. A lot of times my writing, I like to do that alone because I get caught up in it. Whereas though like I can write so fast, like in the middle of the night is really a good time to write in my house because I'm always doing something else. So probably about 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, I might wake up and grab my laptop and start writing. It's something that came to my mind, and so that's how I kind of finish my writings pretty fast because I write in the middle of the night.
That is amazing. Now, let me ask this. Do you find it challenging in our community? I'm sure you spend time in the Black community, maybe even in the portion of community that is less privileged, less exposed. Do you find it difficult to try to get our children into reading and writing and doing the behind the scenes? You know, when I was a kid, I always had the imagination of being in front of the camera. Everybody want to be a star. But do you have a difficulty trying to get kids to imagine themselves being a boom operator, being the camera person, being an assistant director, being a producer, being an editor, being a writer? Do you find it difficult to influence kids to do that? Our kids.
So I think I do find it difficult, and the reason why, so I'm about 2 years ago when I first started filmmaking, I started a nonprofit called BITE, which is Baltimore Youth Talent Empowerment. And the reason why I started it is because I wanted our youth to have the opportunity to do what I was doing and have that support and that skill set, and didn't have to learn the way that I had to learn on my own by doing those things in arts, music. And I had a board together and everything. And what everything really boils down to is the support. So I think that we can get the children engaged. I think that it is children out here that want to do those things, but I think that we need, as older, seasoned leaders in the community, I think we need to come together to make a place where they can feel comfortable doing that. Because a lot of times people don't want to be that oddball set aside saying, "Oh, I played volleyball as a young man and I'm African American and I'm the only black." So I think when we have our children be comfortable with those things that they are gifted at, I think that that's how we can get them. But yes, I definitely think it's hard for us to get children involved behind it.
Now, you are a talented, driven person. And of course, when you are dealing with trying to get a film together, of course, I know you got to deal with a budget, you got to deal with the timeline. You're dealing with people who probably have families and work schedules, so everything has to be organized, everything has to be right. So you have to find people that are not only talented and capable, but are also flexible. How do you adjust your eye to see the type of talent and drive and flexibility that you need in these persons to play the parts that you need them to play in your film productions?
Okay, so first thing you talked about is a budget. So I have been fortunate enough. So I started with books, and then I went to a stage play. And my first stage play, one of my actors, Kent Boyd Sr., aka Chicken Wing, he played in my stage play. And after the very first performance, he came to me and he said, "Lynaia, hey, I believe in you." I believe that you're going to do great things. This before I even got into filming. And he said that he was going to invest in me. And so 2 years went past, and finally he came to me and said, "Lynaia, I want to invest in you. Let's start a production company." So he has been investing in my films where the financial strain hasn't been all on my husband. And then also, when you have a budget for a film and you have funding, and inside that budget you're able to pay those actors and pay individuals to do certain type of things, I think it makes it easier for you to pull out great talent, right? That's already been inside of someone, that's already been there, versus someone thinking that they are just going to do the film and they're not going to get paid. But don't get me wrong, when I first started, I wasn't able to pay my actors. I would give them food, like I would prepare food on set and they would get the credits on IMDb, and a lot of the actors would take that, and it was because they would come to me and say, "Hey, Lynaia, I believe in you." But fortunate enough, like my last film that I'm like currently get ready to finish now, I had a budget where I was able to bring in like Trey Chaney. He played in The Wire, so he's in my film. And with him being on set, it brought out so much of these new actors and actresses in Baltimore City, because my main cast are actors and actresses from Baltimore City. And so having that budget and having individuals that are willing to work with your budget, it's easier to find good talent. Now, don't get me wrong, I give everybody an opportunity, because you never know what an individual can grow into. And so, like new actors and actresses, I always like bring them on and give them lead roles and things, because I know if this is, I can tell if this is their passion, they're going to grow within the film itself. And my next film that I just did, I see it like all over the board. Yes.
Oh, wow. I want you to tell us about some of these awards that you won. Now, it's one thing for me to say you are an award-winning filmmaker. Now, I have I guess, a yeoman's understanding of what that means, but you're in the business. Can you enlighten the audience so we can understand really, really the underbelly of what that means? And not just locally. I saw something where you won something in a Charlotte film festival. So talk to us. Toot your horn.
So my very first award came from California, actually. It was the Vineyard Film Festival, and it was for my series. And I did a pilot for my series, and we won. I wasn't able to go to this film festival because I really didn't know anything about it. I just was putting my films in film festivals all over the world, and it just so happened that we won Best Series. And so then locally, my first was director, Best Director in the DMV. I won for my short film, Everything Matters, which was a film I did on teen bullying and teen suicide. In Charlotte, it was for Beautiful Scars, my very first feature film. I won, recently I've won Best Series for Torn Series in DC, the MAMA Awards. And I just received an email. Actually, that's why I was trying to look it up so I can be accurate. I just received an email a couple days ago that someone in our community nominated me for the NAACP Excellence Award. And I'm just like, so I can't even explain how I feel about that, because I see the NAACP Image Awards with Hollywood stars on it and stuff. Even if it's just local, my name is going to be said within the NAACP. They just asked me to confirm that I'll be at the ceremony May 31st, which would be like an awesome birthday present if I win, because it's Gemini season, my birthday a couple days after. But and I confirmed last night that I would be there. So just being nominated is the award in itself, just for people to just mention you. You don't even have to win. Like me not winning is not even the reward, just my name being mentioned.
Isn't that the favor of God, where your name is mentioned in rooms that your body hasn't even had a chance to enter yet?
Yes, it is. Yes.
Listen, here's another question, Ms. Raynette Anthony. She says, how does one sow into your business? I love that question.
So I honestly, I have different concepts of sewing, right? Mm-hmm. Connections can be a sow into my business, sharing my posts, putting, if you want to sow financially, it's Mama D's production on Cash App. It's just Mama D's production.
Hold on. Spell it for me.
It's MAMADEES Productions. And that's on Cash App if you want to sow financially. Other ways that you can sow is if you know individuals that wouldn't mind me filming in their business or location, or their home when I'm doing a film. That's a way that you can sow into my production. We always need space to film it, to bring life the movies that I write. So I look at sewing in all different aspects, not just financially.
This is awesome, and I'm glad that you said that. I never thought about it like that. Sharing your social media posts, because that's free. Don't cost you anything to do that.
Yep.
Connections. If you know somebody who can maybe say, hey, listen, I have a warehouse that nobody uses on the weekends. So Saturdays and Sundays, you can come here and film all you want. Or I have a business and I have extra rooms that I don't use, all these storage rooms. You can come shoot anytime you want, or you can come use my home. And, I have that Cash App information. And for y'all who may be thinking, ain't nobody begging, somebody in the audience ask how they can sow. And so I'm not going to stop anybody's blessing.
S on productions.
Say again?
There's no S at the end of productions.
Okay, I'm just production. Mama D's production.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, but we want them to sew it right. I'm gonna go back and fix it. I don't want nobody else to get that money.
Yes, so, but it's really hard to find locations. I've been blessed where it's been some locations where people just allowed me to film there. And then it's been locations where I had to pay to film there. But ultimately, I have been blessed to find every location I need when I needed it. So
this is amazing. You work so well in your community and for your community. What is your goal? Let's just say that your company gets picked up within the next 30, 60, 90 days to do a huge production that pours $1 million into your company. How would you use that in your community? Because I know you have stuff that you want to do. How would you use that in your community?
So it's so crazy that you just said that and asked this question, because I literally 2 days ago, because God woke me up in the middle of the night, like probably about 5 o'clock in the morning. It may have been 4 or 5 in the morning. And he gave me this business vision. And because when I was in church Sunday, a young lady spoke about Black History Month and the first African American jockey who won different awards in different races and things. And when she was speaking, I was saying to myself, like, I want to be Black history. I want to make Black history, right? I do. That's what I was saying to myself. So I want to, and when this happened, because it is going to happen. So I woke up, I got up, and I wrote a business plan. And I want to be the first African-American woman in Baltimore City to open up a film studio. But my film studio is not only going to be for filming. It's going to be to unite Baltimore artists, music artists, art artists, have seminars there, to have people there talking about how to get financing, distribution connections, just all around, and to help the youth, to build the youth up, have a safe place that they can come and learn how to take acting classes, directing classes, cinematography classes. And God gave me that vision. And I sent my business plan off to somebody that I know that's in the community, and we supposed to be meeting. And I told him, I said, that is my vision. That's how I want to make Black history. That's how I want to be remembered in Black history. To be
that's amazing, and that's impactful, and that's something outside of you. That's great. Here's another question from the audience. Mr. Walter Paris wants to know, what one thing have you learned that was most helpful to you?
In life or in filmmaking?
I would imagine he's probably talking about filmmaking. I would imagine.
The one thing that has been pray. I've learned and not let God lead me, right? And not always, because I'm real impulsive. Mm-hmm. I'm an impulsive person, right? I feel like if I can do it, if I say I want to do it, I'm going to do it. I'm going to make it happen. But learning how to not be so impulsive and be patient and wait for what is supposed to be and what is for me. But always like pray and have faith that God is going to guide me with everything that I have going on, with the film, with the actors and the actresses, with the distribution companies, because I'm the one that kind of got to learn the hard way with everything. I don't know I don't know what it is, but I learned the hard way. I'm the one when parents say, "Oh, she gonna learn the hard way," my name gonna be next to that.
You jumping in the deep end.
Yeah.
This is absolutely amazing. And I'm so glad that you're talking so candidly about your business. And that's another thing I want to hit on, the business part. What has been the toughest thing about the business part? We talked about the talent portion of it, but there's a lot of business involved with this. What's been the toughest thing about the business part of filmmaking?
The toughest thing for me has been finding the right distribution company, because my films have been streaming and for a couple years now, and I haven't been paid. And so it's like I'm supposed to be getting paid. They said I am, but it's like finding people you can trust to do right by you when you give them your hard work. Like what you work so hard for, and just you have to put your trust in this person and this group of people to do the right things. And a lot of times when it comes to money, people don't do right. And so that's been the hardest thing for me, honestly. The support is gonna come, and my mother always told me, Jason, you in the camera. And my mother always told me, who is supposed to be there to support you, that's who is going to be there. And that's who is supposed to support you. So I don't worry about the support anymore. I used to, I don't. Now is who I can trust to be honest with me when it comes to this distribution. So my films can be seen with individuals, everybody in the world.
Now, I'm going to ask you something, and maybe this is helpful, maybe not. One thing I'm learning as I become more mature and more experienced in life, let the experts be the experts. There's some things I've had to learn to let go. I want to have my hands around it, but I've had to realize that's really not my strong suit. So I'm going to let somebody handle that who has expertise in it that I can trust. That way it'll get done right. Do you find that as much as you want your product to be exactly what you want it to be, that in the areas that maybe you're not the best person, do you find yourself letting go and bring in an expert in that area and let them be the expert in the area?
No.
Okay.
I haven't. I want to. I honestly want to, but I haven't found anyone that that is so much, that is more passionate about what I'm doing than me, right? And so in the only thing that, believe me, if I knew how to do distribution, if I had a foot in the door, I would start a distribution company and help independent filmmakers like myself get what they are owed, what their film has done. I would love to have, but you know what? This film, I hired a director because normally I direct. And this film, I hired a director. Shout out to Gil Nelson. He directed this film I'm doing now. So I had to let go and trust that he was going to be able to bring forth what I would do. And then the other thing is that I told him, I said, I'm gonna have an open mind because I want to learn from you, right? I want to learn from you. And so I did. So I did let go of that task. But it's really hard to let go of stuff sometimes because you want it done right. And
That film is your baby. It's your baby.
people don't have the same passion. They don't see things, the vision the same way. And I'm blessed that Gil has been open to me and allowing me to be the voice in and say, hey Gil, let's try this, or and he's not like everything or it's my way or no way, like directors be, right? So yeah, I let go of directing and I hired someone else to direct this film. So
Well, listen, that's a big girl. Now, I want to talk about, if you don't mind, as much as you can. Tell us what you're working on and what's on the docket for 2025. What can we look forward to? Now, what's the name of your film company again?
So I have two film production companies, one with me and my husband, which is Jordan Productions, and the other one is Mama D's Productions, and that's with Kent Boyd, aka Chicken Wing, myself, and my husband Jason. So a lot of times Mama D Production is in the forefront and Jordan Production is kind of in the back, but Jordan Production is the foundation of me and my husband filming career production company. So it's Mama D's Production. And so 2025, I started 2025 off with an urban film called Streetways. And my next Streetways has gotten me some notoriety because I had stars in it in the film industry. So I will be filming my very first someone else's film this summer. I got hired to film their film. So I'm excited about that. And the next film that we will be casting for, we'll probably be casting in April or May for this film. It is a very controversial film. It's a psychotic thriller. And so the name that I gave it when I was writing it is called Subjugation. So if our scholars are out there, they know the definition of subjugation. But me and Jason been talking and we're going to change the name. But right now it's titled Subjugation. And so that will probably be my second film. And then I'm thinking about doing my stage play at the end of the year. The past 2 years, since 2022, well, the past 3 years, really 2 years, because this year just started, I've been filming like nonstop. And then in 2 years since 2022, I have done probably about 6 to 7 films. So this year I'm not pushing myself to do 3 films in 1 year because I've been like really burnt out. And so I want to like pace myself now. I have films streaming and prayerfully the income will start coming in from them. And so I'm able to not work so hard and focus on the quality of my productions and how they can make an impact because I'm a diverse writer. So I have done faith-based films, I've done drama, I've done holiday films, my stage plays, faith-based and drama. I'm doing an urban film now, and then a thriller I'll be doing this summer.
So when can we expect your book of poetry to come forth?
I haven't written a book of poetry.
I know, that's why I'm asking you.
I don't think I'm going to write a book of poetry. I don't think I'm going to write. I don't know. I might write a book. I have 3 books out now. But I think I might write a book. But if I do, it's going to be, honestly, it'll probably be a book that will be impactful to help young women. I might write something to help young women. Yeah. But
now this is a question for me. This is a selfish question. What does your process look like in making a film from the time you get the idea, when you write the first word, whether that's your title or whatever it is, from that process until you wrap up the last scene on the set? What does your process look like?
So prior years, how it normally works is I'll get an idea and I'll just start writing. Some people, it takes them a long time to write a film. It doesn't take me really long. I can actually write a full feature film if I write on it every day. I can write a full feature film in like 2.5 weeks. And so once I finish writing it, me and my husband, we go over it, right? And he'll go in and he'll say, let's change this, let's change that. And we'll like read through it, and we don't really do like edits with like grammar and things like that, but we do more so the storyline edits and stuff, change stuff in the storyline and stuff. And then when I tell them like, hey, it's time to cast, so we'll do like a week of casting. A lot of times while I'm writing, I'll have a vision of what actor I see in the role. So that when the casting come, I kind of already know and have the idea of who I want in this role. But sometimes you get actors that like blow you away, like wow, they are really good, and you have 86 who you thought, and bring that actor in. And so after that week casting, I'll do the selection, send out emails to everyone. And so something that I do different than I think I've heard that a lot of filmmakers do, I do table reads every week. So I'll give them the script once they sign the contract. I'll give them the script, and probably like a week or two later, we'll start our table reads, and it'll probably be 4 weeks before so it'll be a month before we do our very first day of filming. I'm very respectful because I started out not being able to pay my actors, so I had to film the film around their schedule, right? And so I started out filming on the weekend. So now I film every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. A full feature film without any hiccups, without any weather hiccups, flight delays, or location changes. I can film a full feature film in a month. What I did last year was very I pushed me and my husband, because we do our own editing. And so what we were doing was we would finish a film, filming it in a month, and then a month later we would have our film premiere. Because we edit our own stuff, we would be editing while we're filming, drop and edit. So the process is probably about a 3 months process, with the starting from writing to casting to rehearsal on the table reads to the actual filming to editing. Probably 3.5 months. I can do a full feature film, have it edited, ready to go to distribution in 3.5 months, and be casting for the next film right when we finish, while we're editing the next one. That's what I can do, but I'm not trying to do that no more. I'm trying to like really take my time. So this film, I'm taking my time. I am passing off coloring to someone else. I'm gonna still do my editing, but I'm gonna let somebody else do the coloring for it, and try to make like a really good product that comes.
Wow. I'm so proud of you.
Out.
And I love the fact that we're sitting having this conversation. I want to know, and we're wrapping up here. I want to know, what's your why? You have the spotlight of excellence on you. The emphasis is excellence. We just making it Black excellence because we need it, right? We need the spotlight. I'm not sure if you call yourself excellent, but I would imagine that you're not shocked when others do. We see you and your team as operating in excellence. What drives you? What is your why? What makes you get up in the middle of the night and write? What makes you be so organized and want to put out such a quality product? What is your why?
So, at first, my why was I had to be what the naysayers said I wouldn't be. Growing up, that project little girl, grown little girl. Um, so that was my why first. I had to be the best at everything that I did, that I put forth in doing. So that's where I got my drive from, my fuel from. But as I got older and I had children and nieces and nephews, my why became I want to be an example to them. Um, I want to show them that anything that you put your mind to, you can do, no matter what it is. You put your mind to it, you can do it. Um, and so that's my why now, just to be an example, great example to my nieces, my nephews, and my children who are now my adult. I have adult children now, so it's like, you know, just to be a better person than what I was yesterday, just to grow and just to be great. So people can know that it is greatness out there and it's black greatness, black excellence out there. So, and that's my why right now.
Well, that's a great why. Well, listen, we're about to wrap up, but I want to give you an opportunity. If there's anything that maybe we did not address, but you want the audience to know about Lynaia Jordan, Jordan Productions, Mama D's Productions, or whatever it is there something that you want to say that maybe we didn't cover?
The only thing I want to say is thank you to you for having this platform, for even thinking of me in that category. Just thank you. I'm very grateful and honored to be on here. And I'm kind of like an open book. If you want to know anything about me, you can ask me. My Facebook is Lynaia Jordan. My Instagram is Lynaia Jordan. My TikTok is Lynaia Jordan. Um, and maybe I would say anything that you put your mind to, just do. You can do it. Just go for it and do it. Don't. I used to say, what I used to say. The word no stands for. It don't stands for no. It stands for the next opportunity. Right? So just have faith that God is going to guide you into being the best you that you can be, and just go for what your dreams are.
I appreciate you. You are definitely an example of excellence,
Thank
and
you.
we're glad you're on our team.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Lynaia Jordan of Jordan Productions, Mama D's Productions. She is a tremendous independent filmmaker in the DMV. And for those of you outside of this region, that means DC, Maryland, Virginia, the home of Go Go and the one and only Mr. Chuck Brown. Don't you know it? All right. And so we are very thankful for Miss Jordan and her husband Jason there in the background. We appreciate you taking the time to come and share your story with us. I'm sure that someone has been blessed by your story. Certainly, our audience has appreciated you. And Mrs. Austin says, Graylin Austin, you are a wonderful example of excellence. God bless you, Lynaia. And
Thank
I
you.
agree with you. Listen, once again, this is Carl's Conversations. This is the safe place for difficult conversations. We are in our series called the Black Excellence Showcase. You may be one of those persons that we have to shine the spotlight on, or you may know someone. So if you know someone who you think may need the spotlight, reach out and let us know. If that person is you, reach out and let us know. We're going far beyond the month of February because we have so many areas and so many people to shine this light on. Don't forget to help us grow. Go to the Carl's Conversations YouTube channel. Go to the Carl's Conversations TikTok page. Go to the Carl's Conversations Facebook page. Like, share, subscribe, follow, do all that stuff. Help us out. Help us to grow so that more and more people can get to know these stories. All right. Until next time, we appreciate all of you. Come on back. We got some more stuff coming this week. We got some more of these spotlights on Black excellence coming up. We appreciate you, Mrs. Jordan and Mr. Jordan there in the background.
Thank you so much.
You are welcome. Thank you. Until next time, y'all have a wonderful evening. Bye-bye for now.
Good night.